The following program is intended for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
This I've got to see.
It's worth watching, so stay tuned.
Let's jump in. This is Miss Cynthia Kruse, the only woman allowed on this show for her professional and feminine perspective. I've got writers and Patrick. I've got someone who introduced me with Jason. We've got Andy doing our voiceover. Fucking great. Love to see you guys, Cynthia. Thanks for being here and for running upstairs to check that it's just my computer and not Zoom in general. Everyone's like, what the hell? Well, welcome. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to see you too.
Better late than never, I suppose, for all of us, right? Fantastic. Good to see you guys. Jordan's here. Leandro's here. Bradbury, love you, buddy. Hans is here with a new haircut. Yeah, dude. Bernard, baby. Ian's here with, I don't know, construction in the back. No, it's just some beautiful awnings or some shit. It's not construction. What do you know? In Ian's background. Roger, buddy. Good to see you, Roger. Matt's here. Dave Martin's here. Yeah, Michael, good to see you. Hussein, buddy. Good to see you. John's got his camera on too. I love when you guys have your cameras on. Patrick, of course, from down under, the double D, the double down under. Randy, Rob, J Bar. Look, Cynthia Kruse is here too.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. That's so cool. David and JK, JT, you guys are fantastic. Well, I'm just going to forge forward. Let's jump into it. Cynthia's Sexcapade spot for today, which we unveil. She unveils about the last 10 minutes of our show. Here's your preview. Pull her onto your lap. She's ready. She's ready, Cynthia. She looks ready to be pulled onto your lap.
She is. The fishnets help with the readiness.
There's fishnets. Yes. She's fish. I'll use the fishing joke. She's fishing for something. She's fishing to be on your lap, gentlemen. We're going to teach you how to pull her onto your lap today for Cynthia's Sexcapade spot. Oh my God. All right. Let's jump into a post from the forum. Phenomenal. Staircase of Courage question for today. And then we're going to jump into the forum. So what do you think that dark sexual energy means? What does dark sexual energy mean to you? If you were to come across that title, hey, we're going to talk about dark sexual energy today. What does that mean to you? Punch that into the chat. And just be honest. That means, I don't know, am I going to be hanging from the ceiling from chains? Or does that mean she's going to do is there blood? Or is there a sacrifice involved here? Or what does this mean to you? What does dark sexual energy mean to you? Punch that into the chat. All right, let's go ahead and jump into a question from the forum. I have a book. Oh, this is a beautiful spot from a gentleman that frequents our show who wanted to give a little shout out to this Pocket Pema Chodron. Pema Chodron, right? So this woman, Pema Chodron, she's a Buddhist. You can find her stuff on YouTube. She's phenomenal. He's got the pocket version of her book, and he reads it most mornings as a part of his kingly plan. And today he said it was so good that he was compelled to share. On page 41, we start with ourselves. In cultivating loving kindness, we train first to be honest, loving, and compassionate toward ourselves. Rather than nurturing, self-denigrating, we begin to cultivate a clear-seeing kindness. Sometimes we feel inadequate and weak, but our loving kindness is unconditional. No matter how we feel, we can aspire to be happy. We can learn to act and think in ways that sow the seeds of our future well-being, gradually becoming more aware of what causes happiness, as well as what causes distress. Without loving kindness for ourselves, it's difficult, if not impossible, to genuinely feel it for others. Cynthia, what does it feel like when a man, you can just feel that he's kind to himself, that he has compassion for himself? And we talk a lot about how she resonates off of him. So what does that literally physically feel like for a woman when you're penetrating her with just being the man that you are, with your love for yourself, with your kindness, with your growth? What does that feel like for a woman?
Yeah, well, I think all of us, whatever we have on the inside, it exists in a aura or a space or a container around us. So your kindness to self, your compassion to self is just going to be in your space, and whoever is around you, especially the woman in your life, are going to feel feel that as a kindness to her, feel that as a compassion for her femininity, and never mind that being an incredible feeling to experience. That's kind of the secret key to being able to dive into, one of your themes today of dark sexual energy. Because if you can hold kindness and compassion with yourself, along with some of the ruggedness and darkness and strength and power of dark sexual energy, you've got the winning combination of that really invites a woman to trust you, feel amazing about herself around you, feel amazing about you, and want to dive into journey with you, whether it's lightness or shadow or adventure climbing a mountain or adventure in bed.
Yeah, and I'll take a step forward. So the difficulty is when we don't know how to do that, when we don't know what she wants or how to bloom love between us, as we talk about and teach with the sacred relationship between the two of you, she tries to find that with you. And then if that doesn't happen, she tries to go find that other places within her own self or within those around her or within her job. So in that sense, let's go ahead and jump over into the question from the forum I want to ask you. Thank you, Cynthia. So here's a fun one. What would you do? Where's this man coming from? I'm getting tired of the one who always initiates the affection of kisses and hugs. I'm thinking of saying to my wife tomorrow, I want you to explain why you never initiate any hugs or kisses towards me, while you never come up to me, put your arms around me, and tell me you love me. And why do you have me in the guest room? What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? Should he do that tomorrow? Unmute yourself. Come on in.
Hey, man. This is interesting because I've learned a lot from this and haven't had much chance to apply it yet, which is probably a good thing. But, two things here. One is that, and I think Rob Piotrowski has some good insight on this. You have to ask yourself, are you doing this in an expectation of something, either a return gesture or a feeling, or are you doing it as your own sincere expression of affection and love? If it's the former, you've got issues. If it's the latter, then you're not setting yourself up for disappointment and you're just doing what you want to do. The other thing, and maybe I'm just being an asshole, but where he's like, and she has me in the guest room, she doesn't have you anywhere. I mean, unless she's physically superior to you and is able to confine you to the guest room, this is not, I mean, if you want to sleep in the room, sleep in the room. And if she wants to leave, she can leave. I mean, don't get in a fist fight over it, but she doesn't have you anywhere. You have yourself somewhere.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in, Roger. I appreciate that. I don't want to taint it too much here. I said the word taint. I just said the word taint. Who else wants to jump in on this? Should he should he say that to her? Like, hey, why don't you explain to me why you never initiate and why am I in the guest room? Explain that to me. What do you guys think? Unmute yourself. Coming in. Is that a good idea?
Hi.
I hear Patrick.
Go ahead,
Let's go Patrick first.
John can go.
See who else is in there. John?
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say, no, that sounds really needy. And, I'm in a very similar situation. But you just have to kind of get used to the fact that, your role in the relationship is the lead, and is to initiate those kind of things. And it may just not be her tendency to do those things. She may not be a physical touch or an intimacy, high love language kind of person, and so expecting her to do something like that is just not realistic to initiate that kind of stuff. But often, if you lead it, and if you're confident in leading it, they'll often follow and reciprocate and appreciate.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, John. I know that's something that you're practicing and have been learning. And what do you feel from this man right now? Where do you think he's coming from? Why is he just asking these questions to us? I don't know if he's really going to do this with his wife. I don't know, maybe. But where do you think he's coming from? Can you relate to that?
Yeah, I can relate to it for sure. I think that he's coming from a feeling of lack rather than a feeling of abundance. I think that he's feeling like he doesn't have a lot of options. He's feeling constrained, needy, and isn't really, able to be happy himself. He's looking for that kind of validation of his self-worth from her. rather than being able to be comfortable in his own skin and lead what he's looking for. He probably doesn't really know what he's looking for.
Yeah. I love that, John. It's spoken from a man who knows, right? And we all know, I've been there definitely as well, when we're like overextending, when we're kind of leaning out onto the chair of relationship. And if that chair gets pulled out, we fall over onto our face and we get mad about that. The covert contracts come out. Patrick, come on in. Go for it.
Well, he's not taking the lead. He's just handed the reins to her. So you don't do that.
Yeah, that's mic drop. Don't do that. Oh, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I love it. And I'm going to go ahead and segue right now for fun, because I want to get over to this clip that I grabbed from David Data. Plays into this beautifully. So here's 3 minutes from David Data. We'll see if it's, yeah, I can go a little bit longer, but let's start with the first 3 minutes of this. And I'll grab the link to this as well and put this into the chat so you guys can grab that. One benefit of being here is that we have to cut most of these clips out of YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, join us live and get that link, greatmenmovemountains.com/cnote, CNOTE. We're doing this every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. London time right now. So I'm going to jump over into David Data, and this is an audio recording. So you're just going to see a screenshot about well, what's really relationship about? How do I really want to approach her femininity, her, let's say, not wanting to lead, and you need to grab the reins? Let's get a little bit different approach on this from David Data. Here we go.
You guys are pretty young, but as you get older, sex, the actual sex play becomes less important, the physical part. And you could still do the complete penetration of her just with your attention, in a way that she will physically feel it in her body and have a physical orgasm. So you could have no erection, fully clothed, 100 years old, let's say, because this is what it's for, long-term relationships. And you don't have to be inside of her with your penis for her to feel you inside of her, pinning her open with the force of your love, the weight of your love, if it were. So there's a kind of mass to consciousness, an actual mass that women want to feel. They want to be weighted, pinned by that mass, and twinky dudes won't do it. Like, is this okay? That's not. But to feel into her, to not have to ejaculate, to give her everything, all of your attention, she's just taken by you. That's what she's been waiting for all of her life, which means she'll immediately complain because she's got to see if it's real. She's not thinking this way. This is how the feminine's built. So she's gonna, your best moment of practice, she's gonna criticize. Is this all you got? Or I don't know what she's gonna say. And if you weaken in that moment, she shouldn't trust you. But if you go like, yeah, this is it. If you're like right there, she just surrenders again and tests you again. So the only way for I'm talking to a man again, the only way for the masculine not to feel like, Jesus Christ, when is she going to stop, is celibacy. So men have and I'm being serious, men have a choice, and they've chosen this throughout historical time. They could be without a woman, maybe not celibate, maybe they see a prostitute, but the whole Zen Buddhist tradition, I don't know if all of you know this, is like this. Most of them were monks without wives, but they saw prostitutes. So there's all kinds of ways to work these things out. But one way for men to do it is, I don't want to be tested by women's emotional things all the time. Therefore, I'm going to sit in a cell, shave my head, and just hang out with other men and contemplate bliss or something like that. That's one choice. The other choice is, I want to contemplate bliss with my woman. Now, if that's the choice, and it is your choice, that's the choice of what I just described. You have chosen someone who will always criticize, insult, attempt to deflate you and test you. She won't tell you she's doing that. She'll disagree that she's doing that. You can never talk to her about this. But you know she's always doing it. And there has to be a place in you that, making the choice of her, realizes that's super valuable.
Okay, let's open this up a little bit. So it's valuable that she challenges you. Okay, that's the thought of a superior man, and that she wants to be, fucked open in bliss. She wants to be part of a love story, and a part of that is not getting in your own way. Okay, not getting in your own way and assuming that she's a man, or assuming that she should be different. So then when you hear that, and that a woman will always challenge, and that's going to be a part of relationship, and that you can either fight against that, or you can embrace that as a part of this dark sexual energy, her challenging energy, her pushing and wanting to feel your masculinity. Talk with us a little bit more about what's going on when she pushes because she wants to feel your strength. She's not pushing so that you fall over. She's pushing because she wants to feel your strength, and you can bring that into the bedroom. Talk with us a little bit more about that. When she's pushing, what does that feel like? Why is that? Why is she doing that?
I think so today in this day and age, if a woman, just like David Data was saying, all of us can decide to go just be by ourselves in contemplation and run our own world exactly the way we want to. And if a woman is choosing that in her life to just go be herself, and she automatically wants to create her own container and control everything around, she can do that. And at the same time, the feminine in her will grow more and more hungry and feel more and more starving and a little bit more kind of tasked and exhausted with something that's not quite there in her life. And she may still decide to do it all on her own, but if she chooses in relationship to be with you, there's part of her that's asking for her own masculinity to go to the side, because yours is so much more kingly and golden and powerful than hers could ever be. And so in that asking of you, she's constantly uncompartmentalized. It's not, I go to do this part of my life and I don't need to feel his masculinity, his strength, his purpose. It's a constant wanting to feel that connection, and that fuels her and gives her food and makes her feel alive with you. So anytime she's not feeling that in you, it's going to feel kind of hollow and hungry and colder, because when you are present and when you are with her in that energy, it's beyond nothing else. So anything less than that, depending on where she comes from in relationship, is going to spark a anger response or a pain response. Or we could even go in a spiritual level, that one of the reasons why you two are together is you are showing her and teaching her things, but her constant demand of that is a request of your highest spiritual self.
Well, absolutely. And take it from there. It's a practicing holding tension. Can you hold tension in your body in the situation? Can you allow someone to make a mistake, including your own self, without jumping down their throat or punishing yourself or shaming yourself or shaming her accidentally, right? This kind of a thing. That's a big deal. So I want to give you a moment to jump in. Who has a scenario like this that you're going through, where you're trying to grow, let's say, sacred relationship? You want to bloom some more dark sexual energy between the two of you. And maybe you relate to this man who's thinking, man, I just want to ask her, what the hell's her problem, is kind of what this dude is saying in this post. Is anyone in this spot right now? No judgment. Bring it to the table here. Unmute yourself and come on in. I'll shut up for about 20 seconds. And if you don't want to jump in, that's cool. Who's got a question or a scenario that reminds you of? Unmute yourself. Come on in. Hans is saying he can't talk, but he's definitely in that spot. Yeah. So raise your hand or come on in. Cynthia, let's honor our chat. What these gentlemen think and feel is dark sexual energy. A little step forward. I'd love for you guys to raise your hand and come in anytime during the show, of course. Yeah, Cynthia, please.
Yeah. So Bernard said, letting your animalistic instinct out in bed. And Jason said, repressed hidden desires and energy, no different than normal energy, just aspects of me, my ego has decided don't fit. My exploration and adventure of 2021 for me. Oh, that's so cool. Matt had said taking control and leading from my base desires. Dave said being stuck in Dennis Collins's basement.
That's some dark sexual energy, Dave. That's right. Oh my God. Slash nightmare or fantasy. I don't know. I'm just going to move on from that one.
So Ian had said, have been lucky enough to find someone to share all sides without taboos, combining both dark and intimate.
Nice.
Hans had said, dark energy to just have her completely submit and trust, even to reverse it and have her completely control what she wants me to do to her. No questions, no limits. Both would be fantastic, and neither of us would be into really weird shit, so it won't go too wrong. Have some walls to break down first.
I don't know. Maybe she's into some weird shit. Maybe you don't know.
And Leonardo had said, the dark side of sex for me is to do what you feel like doing, following your basic instinct in harmony with your partner. That's really cool. Hossein had said, dark side, being present and being to the flow with no limit. Jordan said, releasing the deeper desires, the more basic animal energy, and having a partner willingly accepting and requesting that power.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. It's that wanting and willingness, the wanting to dance within that with you, to not just shut it down. Right. That's what I'm hearing from you guys, is you'd love for a woman to be open and trust you and step into that space with you. And along those lines, I mean, I'm sure that's what this poster would love as well. And along those lines, I pulled a couple of paragraphs from Way of the Superior Man, of course, by David Data, along these lines too, in that you don't want to just abdicate all your choices to her, right? She may be a powerful, strong woman in the world, and that's the way that she speaks with her girlfriends, and that's the way she is in her career, and she wants to kick ass in the world. But then either she may or may not have words for that she wants to be taken in the bedroom. She wants to be led. She wants to be part of a love story. She wants to feel those butterflies and swoon. And you can't just rely on what she says. You have to rely on, John Wineland calls it learning to whitewater raft, or learning to row the boat your own self, learning to navigate the waters yourself. Someone can't just tell you how to ride a bike. You have to actually practice and learn how to ride the bike. And this is the Way of the Superior Man. Never change your mind just to please a woman. He says, if a woman suggests something that changes a man's perspective, then he should make a new decision based on his new perspective. But he should never betray his own deepest knowledge and intuition in order to just please his woman or to go along with her. Both she and he will be weakened by such an action. They will grow to resent each other, and the crust of accumulated inauthenticity will burden their love, as well as their capacity for free action. So bullshitting yourself or bullshitting her is going to grow a crust of accumulated inauthenticity that will burden your love, David Data says. You should always listen to your woman and then make your own decision. If you choose to go with your woman's suggestion, even when deep in your heart you feel that another decision is more wise, you are in effect saying, I don't trust my own wisdom. You're weakening yourself by telling yourself this. You are weakening your woman's trust in you. Why should she trust your wisdom if you don't? The next time you embrace your woman sexually, feel your ultimate desire, your deepest desire in life. Feel why you are doing anything at all in life, and specifically why you are uniting with your lover. There may be many lesser reasons, but what is your deepest, ultimate reason? Most men's ultimate reason for doing anything has to do with discovering their deepest truth, enjoying total freedom and love, and giving their fullest gifts. So if I were to ask you right now, or hell, if your woman were to ask you right now, well, why do you want to have sex? Why do you want to make love? What is it about that for you? Do you feel that you'd be able to articulate that? Right? Aside from just, it feels good, or I don't know, because I like it. I mean, if that's your answer, that's not great. That's not very good. So you need to be able to answer these questions. That's why I'm bringing these things up, is She says, well, what does sex mean to you? You should know that down into your core. Okay. And it's putting words to it as the start. So if just fumbling it into a text to yourself or posting on the forum, I mean, if you're ballsy, you go into our Facebook forum and post that. What does sex mean to you? What does making love mean to you? So that when your wife or a gorgeous woman, this one or the next one, is sitting across from you and she asks you these kind of questions, you have a great answer that's grounded within your own self and not just bullshitting her, so you don't accumulate inauthenticity. You don't crust over your relationship. Cynthia, sexcapade spot for today. Pull her onto your lap. Yeah, please take it away.
Well, that absolutely does apply, because it's going to talk about when she is on your lap, when you can use movement and when you can use stillness to build intimacy, trust, and sexual desire. So today there was a theme of dark sexual energy. This is something that you can do to build up the energy toward getting to go into deepest desires and beyond boundaries, and to have her be able to feel you and trust you to such an extent that she wants to dive into that with you. So of course, the whole position of you sitting on the bed or sitting on a chair and having a woman come and sit in your lap, and whether it's foreplay or whether it's sex, is nothing new. But I wanted to offer why this position can be so important, whether it is during sex or not having anything to do with actual sex at all. So the reason that having her saying, hey, come sit on my lap, is so important is because it does create closeness. The lap position brings you emotionally closer and builds intimacy, because this is a chance to lock eyes, move together slower, and feel her entire body against you, her feel her entire body against you. And even for you as the leader and as the container for this, to allow yourself to feel open, because you get to receive energy too. Building intimacy with a woman is about give and take. It's your leadership pouring into her, but it's also feeling her feeling your openness, where she gets to pour into you. And when she's sitting on her lap, she's in a position to feel that you really are receiving her, which is very intrinsic to her feeling valued and seen. And it's kind of the other side of desire for her. So you can, if she's sitting on you, you can invite her to put her hands on your chest. You can also put your hands on her hips. You can play with either following her movement of her hips, but also play with the guiding of her hips. Like that, a woman loves is to feel you grab her hips and, like, with passion, pull her towards you. You can play with the energy of observing what feels good to her, but also letting her know, like when she moves a certain way or lifts her chest or her breasts touch against you, letting her know what feels amazing to you, and see if that praise actually makes her want to do that even more, to get that response to you. So even if this is not where you are sexually, even if it's not, hey, come sit in my lap and I'm going to be inside of you, this is important to building intimacy. There's this concept of skin to skin, practice the intimacy of having her on your lap where you're both shirtless. Skin to skin contact allows for the release of bonding hormone, that oxytocin, and helps the trust building. Practice even just feeling the warmth of her against you with no movement. Let her feel you as well. And this can be a practice and not even leading to sex, of, hey, you were watching a movie together and she comes and she sits on your lap or between your legs and she rests against you and you both have your shirt off without touching. That stillness of intimacy where it's just skin to skin is deeply, deeply, deeply sensual, deeply builds a sense of trust in you. And when you give time for your energy, for her energy to really feel you, without even taking action, without even touching her in the right way, without even saying the right thing, chemicals are going on that's building her trust in you. And that's an incredible way to start escalating the staircase of intimacy with her.
Yeah, beautiful. So what else would you add for the man? So again, what if you're not having orgasms right now with your woman, or she's like, our shirt's off touching you together? What the hell are you talking about? So what would you say? So I want to ask about the staircase of intimacy. I mean, it can be skin to skin with your hands or your arms or whatever that may be, or playfully in different ways. But what else can the man consider that it's not all about him in every single one of those moments, right? What else can he consider in which that she almost feels like she's punishing the relationship? Okay. How can he take a step back from that and have a different mindset if she, rejects these kind of things or feels like it's off limits? What other mindset can he have? The meta, the bigger picture within something like this.
So the idea of stillness, you started today with the concept when you have forgiveness, kindness, compassion for yourself, when you're holding that space in stillness, you're not trying to change it, you're not trying to take action, but you're practicing that. She is going to feel your energy. And masculinity is so it can be like a rocket ship launch pad. There's movement forward, like getting end result. There's the arrow leaving the bow and going toward the bullseye. And the feminine needs that, whether it's in herself or in you. And if she's kind of in emotional storm, or what Hans mentioned, where there's like a little bit of panic or frustration, your movement forward is going to feel like she's trying to be pushed or pulled along into something that she's too shaky in or too overwhelmed by. The superior energy of that is when you can move things forward, but you're also choosing in that moment stillness. It makes a massive impact. And let's even say you're at the stage of you're sitting next to her and it's merely you put a hand on her leg and you practice the stillness of that. That makes an incredible difference. It's a powerful presence and it allows her to truly feel you. And you want a woman who can feel you on the outside, because then she's going to want to feel you on the inside of her.
Yeah, I love that. Phenomenal. You want her to feel it, enjoy feeling you on the outside because she wants to feel you on the inside as well. Well, a part of this, guys, though, if you're in the place here where, I'm speaking to myself in the past, if you've been really messing up, it's going to take practice and you're going to be uncomfortable during the practice. By definition, if you're not a little bit uncomfortable at least, then you're not moving outside your comfort zone. You're not trying something that's at the edge of who you are as a man or what you've practiced in the past. And if it hasn't gone very well in the past, it's time to change it up. It's time to change it up. It's time to allow mistakes to be made. It's time to back off your personal reactions, responding and not reacting, where you actually have control of yourself. That's a huge, enormous tenet of this work. And that's what you were saying, that Christopher Walken is always patient and in control. He always feels like he has power no matter what's going on around him.
Yeah, even the way he talks, just as a regular person, there's no anxiety to get out what he's saying.
Yeah,
it's almost like he's in a timeless space, and that's pretty compelling.
Yeah. So if you need to use the idea of, hey, I'm Christopher Walken for 5 minutes in the kitchen when my wife is going to come home from work and I need to have that mojo boost, think of that. Whatever works for you, however you can change your mindset to practice these new ways of being, Okay. And go into the Facebook forum, post questions about dark sexual energy. What other sexual questions do you have? We're going to keep up this theme for the next few days. It's Wednesday right now, and then we're going to keep it up for tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Fantastic to see you guys. Jason, I appreciate you helping us out today. Bernard, good to see you again, man. Roger, Jordan, Dave, you guys are fantastic. Hussein, loving you guys keep your cameras on. Hans saw you earlier, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, good to see you, buddy. JK, Patrick, appreciate it. Andy Sear, John, David, JT, Rob, Kent, and Oren. Fantastic, gentlemen. I'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock Mountain for Power 60. Otherwise, tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, if you're in New Zealand, same time, same channel. You guys are fantastic. Have a good one. See you on the forums.
Get more affection, love, and sex in your marriage. Get less paralyzing fear and rejection. Never miss an episode. Watch anytime, anywhere, 3 a.m. on the toilet. Get full episodes. GreatMenMoveMountains.com/VIP. The C-Note Show.